Welcome everyone. Let's get right into roll call.
All right, call the meeting order, roll call. Commissioner Anaya.
Here.
Commissioner, Vice Chair Arton.
Present. Good morning.
Morning. Commissioner Chason. Commissioner Clark.
Present.
Commissioner Cinnamon Clark. Commissioner De Los Rios.
Present.
Commissioner Desert.
Present, and a happy belated birthday to our chair.
Thank you.
Commissioner Elliott Santos.
Present, and also birthday wishes, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Evans. Commissioner Farouk.
Present.
Commissioner Fowler.
Present. Happy birthday, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, sir.
Commissioner Gillies.
Present. Good morning and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Edith Sanchez on behalf of Sheriff Gore.
Present.
Commissioner Griffiths Jones. Commissioner Hassan.
Present.
Commissioner Hodges. Commissioner Ismail.
Present and happy birthday, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Commissioner Corey. Commissioner Legaspi.
Present.
Commissioner Murray Ramirez.
Present.
Chair Nash.
Present.
Commissioner Perez.
Present. Happy birthday, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ramirez. Armenia. Commissioner Ryman. Commissioner Roberts.
Here, sir. Good morning and happy birthday to our glorious leader.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Ruderman. District Attorney Summer Stephan.
Here and happy birthday, Madam
Thank
Chair.
you. Thank you.
Commissioner Villaforte. All right, Madam Chair.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome all of our wonderful commissioners and all of our public commenters and attendees. Welcome to our Leon L. Williams, San Diego County Human Relations Commission meeting. And we are now going to go into public comment. Do we have any public commenters?
And we didn't receive any public comment. I noticed we do have some members of the public, and we can allow them if they wish to speak. And
Please.
see Imani Robinson, if we want to allow Imani Robinson to speak.
Yes, with a, what's your time, our time provision of 1 or 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay. Please.
Okay, Imani, you can mute and speak. And you are unmuted, Imani. Okay, we may have some technical difficulties with our audio. Once we get that fixed, we can allow her to speak. Okay, I think she might be unmuted. Imani, can you hear us now?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay, great. I just wanted to also wish the beautiful chair happy birthday, Ellen Nash.
Thank you.
I also understand the efforts that are being made with our with our criminal system. And my question is, where is the prevention? And we're getting harsher with the consequences, and there's no prevention, there's no diversion programs, and the diversion programs are only for brown and white. I've worked on different committees, I've worked on different boards, and I've never seen a Black child offered a diversion program. And yet, and still, the prisons are filled with Black children, and there's no diversion programs. I have asked, and then we also are allowed for our federal prosecutors to not tell the truth about our youth. And we have public defenders that are not allowed to bring in any evidence of truth. So we're in an epidemic of crimes with children and Black children. And that's all I can represent right now, because I know there are efforts for brown and white to get diversion programs, but our Black students are put out of the classroom, and they are put into prisons. And no matter what a parent does, it's beyond gross negligence. It's definitely at this point of seeing that this is intent. And we are creating holidays for Black people, but we're not creating any prevention of children getting into this system based on lies and based on not allowing evidence in. And children are going into the prison system. And I really, I am crying. There are citizens, or there are non-citizens that are being offered money. There are non-citizens that have committed crimes that are offered reparations. And I am at wit's end. And where is the humanity for Black children? I don't see it. Our schools are failing. I hear a lot of argument. One thing we all know that, well, when I was in school, we learned critical thinking, and we also learned cause and effect. And no one is working on the cause, and the only effect is our Black children, our Black boys, our Black girls being neglected and put into the prisons. And I can't take it anymore. And I'm just thankful that I have this opportunity to publicly speak on this, and that I am living this, and I am seeing this, and I'm seeing the lies that are put on our children, and I am seeing the truth being denied. And it is criminal, and it is definitely crimes against humanity. And I see the efforts of harsher crimes. I'm seeing grown men getting less time than our Black young boys. And it's atrocious. It is despairing. I can go on and on and on. So my question is, when are we going to stop allowing this? When are we going to stop putting our children out into the hallways and into the streets? When are we going to stop allowing students or children that want to get jobs and seeing help wanted signs and managers telling them that they don't have any openings? It's all about money. And our young Black brilliant boys are being sacrificed. It's not fair. It is, I don't even understand how we can create all of these boards and all of these committees, and we have evidence after evidence. we just did a UCSD or SDSU analysis. I'm sorry, my words are escaping me because I'm definitely emotional about this. We have just seen that Blacks in the nation, right here in San Diego, in the nation, have the hardest time finding places to live. We see that our Blacks are getting pulled over first and foremost and always, and not always arrested, but any and every time a white person is pulled over, if finally pulled over, they do get arrested. This is what we have found in all of this research.
Okay.
We have researched and developed. I'm
Miss
sorry,
Rock-
I can go on and
That's
on
okay.
forever.
I know you can. And your issues you're raising are very important, but we are at a 2-minute time limit.
Thank you for giving me this time.
Thank you.
I appreciate every one of you because I am pleading with you to do something about it. We don't need
Okay.
another meeting, another board.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I will mute myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart. All right.
Okay, Madam Chair, not seeing any other requests to speak at this time. You can move on to your next agenda item.
Okay. Our next agenda item has to do with, it looks like teleconferencing meeting. We've talked about this in the past, if I recall. Are we going to continue? I think the requirements now is that we continue our Zoom meetings at this point.
Yes,
Am I
it is,
correct?
Madam. Yes, it is, Madam Chair. And as you did at the last meeting, the commission is being asked to take action to allow it to continue to meet under the special teleconferencing rule. It's AB 361. In today's motion, we have to do another motion today that will allow the commission to meet virtually for the next 30 days. But since the commission can't meet within 30 days, since the next meeting is on December 14th to
Mhm.
renew, we recommend that you delegate the function to you, to the commission delegates the function to you, the chair, and that way it can be ratified at the next meeting on the 14th. So you delegate it to yourself. And I see Commissioner Roberts has her hand up.
Commissioner Roberts would make that motion to extend the Zoom meetings and delegate to our Chair Nash to make a determination for the December meeting, and then we'll ratify at the December meeting.
We get a second?
I second.
second.
Great.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, let's call for the vote.
All right. Commissioner Naya. Vice Chair Arton,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner De Los Rios,
Aye.
Commissioner Desert.
Aye.
Commissioner Elliott Santos,
Aye.
Commissioner Farouk,
Aye.
Commissioner Fowler, Commissioner Gillies,
Aye.
Edith Sanchez on behalf of Sheriff Gore,
Aye.
Commissioner Hassan,
Aye.
Commissioner Ismail,
Aye.
Commissioner Legaspi,
Aye.
Commissioner Murray Ramirez, Commissioner Nash,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye, sir.
DA Summer Stephan,
Aye.
Madam Chair, that motion passes.
Oh, I wasn't called. Commissioner Evans.
Commissioner Evans. Oh, that's right. You joined us a little. Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Thank you. Still carries.
Great, great. Thank you very, very, very much. Great. Let's move on to agenda 5. Our Council on American Islamic Relations. We have a presentation by the San Diego office. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Good morning, commissioners. I hope everyone's doing well today. Happy birthday, Ms. Nash.
Thank you.
Hope you
Thank
have a
so much.
fantastic day and a glorious life ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I appreciate it. I've been speaking to some of you and I've worked with a few of you. I've lived in San Diego for about 30 years. So this is home and I love my home and I love the people that I'm surrounded by. So this is my community. A little bit about CARE San Diego. CARE San Diego, Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE is the largest Muslim civil rights organization in the United States. We have about 30 chapters across the nation and 4 of them right here in California, 1 in San Francisco, Sacramento, Los Angeles, and then San Diego. The San Diego chapter has been in motion since 1994, but was officially established in 2007. Since then, we've represented people in discrimination cases, and we've done bullying surveys to, I don't know if some of you caught the last weekend's report where we published a report on bullying. We surveyed about 300 children, and the result of it showed that 55% of the children experienced bullying because of the way they look, their names, the way they dress, or their ethnicity. Hence, discrimination, bullying, these vices exist in society, and hence the need of an organization such as CARE. The Muslim population in San Diego is very diverse. We're about unofficially 100,000, and I'm sure that the current census will confirm some more numbers. We're spread across the county. A lot of our immigrants, about 50% of our Muslim population are immigrants from all over the world. A Muslim is not necessarily just someone who comes from the Middle East, but we have Muslims that a largest population of the Muslim community that we have in San Diego are South Asian immigrants. Immigration is in large numbers has brought Muslims to San Diego, but there is also Muslims that are converts, and they are people from all different walks of life, all different races. As you all know, that CARE San Diego has been doing a lot of work. I hope that you have followed some of our work in the last few months since the Afghan crisis has hit. Our office has been representing many community members. We helped 147 community members evacuate from Afghanistan and come to San Diego back home safely. In the following months, we've been able to help new immigrants learn how to file for humanitarian parole applications for family members that were left behind and are still looking to escape the violence in Afghanistan. Just recently, we were able to hold a Know Your Rights seminar and help our new Afghan community members acclimate to the ways of California and San Diego in particular. At these events, we are always able to complement the event with the vaccination services, food distribution. Just last week, we had an event at the Islamic Center of San Diego where we were able to help 50 families once again, and we did a training on how to complete Know Your Rights and also humanitarian parole applications. At these events, the families are usually bused by our volunteers because some of these families do not have transportation yet. So our volunteers have stepped up and been able to drive the family members to the location and then back again. Our partners in the community, ICNA Relief, has been able to do food distribution. Community Global Health has been able to do vaccinations. Some community members stepped forward and we were able to distribute backpacks and school supplies and clothing to children as well. all in all, the Afghan community is impacted, and this work, as many of the organizations here at this table have been continuing that work as well, we have been pitching in, doing our part. Apart from that, in Ramadan, we were able to help 80 Muslim inmates with Quran, with dates, because we break our fast with dates and prayer rugs and some learning material. I heard a sister speak earlier about the school to prison pipeline, and that's something that I'm very passionate about. I absolutely am a part of a lot of coalitions that work towards justice in the legal system. We talk about a lot of, we're part of organizations such as the SDRC, which does immigrants' rights advocacy and education. I come from a background of immigrants' rights. I've done a lot of immigrants' rights work. So that is, and I am an immigrant myself. So immigrants' rights advocacy and education is a passion project of myself. And I have worked with the undocumented communities. So that is also a project that just close to my heart. We always stand with our DACA recipients. We're continuously, last few weeks, we've been asking Congress to support the DACA resolution and make the pathway to citizenship an easier process for our DACA recipients. Some other things that we have recently accomplished is we have a case from CARE California at the Supreme Court right now, where community members were trying to be entrapped by FBI. So we have an ongoing case where we're at the Supreme Court pushing for the rights of these individuals of not being entrapped by FBI. Another project that we did locally was the Streetlight Project. And I know that this week, it's a 365 days, a 1-year anniversary of the Trust Coalition, which worked for the streetlight surveillance that was particularly geared towards Muslim institutions. The cameras were facing mosque and religious centers. So we've done a lot of work around that as well. Like I said, we're all about civil rights. So, civil rights and advocacy of the immigrant population, of the Muslim population is at the core of everything we do, but we're also about social justice causes. We are about, the school to prison pipeline, as I mentioned, the betterment of Muslim way of life. And the most important thing that comes to all of us is increase the understanding and enhance the value of the Muslim citizens in the United States. Because as we go through life with a lot of, in interfaith space especially, I sit on a board with an interfaith commission, and my constant effort is that we increase the understanding of the Muslim way of life, and increase the advocacy of Islam in our communities, and open a dialogue with our neighbors. You have the best advocacy person in San Diego, Sheikh Taha, amongst you guys. I can't speak any more about interfaith relations than he can, and he's been a champion of this cause. And we're grateful to have him amongst us and be a leader in our communities. I have, I have often mentioned that Sheikh Taha could lead a lot more things in San Diego than any one of us. And I appreciate him being a part of this table. And I appreciate you inviting me here. I'm open for any questions if anyone has any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners, you have any questions?
Summer Stephan, Chair, I just want to acknowledge Ms. Nizam and all of the work that she has done, and her team over the years that have helped educate women and children on human trafficking, helped some of our immigrant communities understand their rights under United States law. It's been just a real honor to work with her.
Thank you, Ms. Steffen. Imam Taha has his hand up.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted just to say thank you, Tasheem, for this very brief presentation about CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. And I wanted just to say, in addition to what you have mentioned, that CARE is an organization that is embraced by the entire Muslim community. CARE is not affiliated with any specific mosque or Islamic center or a congregation here in San Diego, but CARE works with all houses of worship, all congregations, all imams. It's the organization that I turn to when somebody from my community comes to my office to report a harassment or an abuse or a bullying. I always turn to CARE and I ask them to handle the case. And of course, as an imam and religious leader, I help them as much as I can in serving not only the Muslim community, but anyone else who comes to us seeking help, seeking assistance because of racism, bullying, any wrongdoing that people might experience, unfortunately, in our beautiful San Diego. So again, thank you, Tasheem, for your presence and your presentation.
Commissioner Roberts has her hand up.
I would just like to kind of reach out to all the representatives from our Muslim community and CARE. Is it pronounced CARE or CAR? CARE, I think. Anyway, I'd love to get like a tour and a sit down discussion with you guys just so I can learn more about what you're doing and get I'm a great believer in talking to people face to face and not reading reports from different organizations so I can get a firsthand opinion. So my hand of desire to learn more is stretched out to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Roberts. I would really appreciate a sit down with each one of you. Let's grab lunch someday. Let's grab coffee. I know we're in a pandemic, yet we can have outdoor gatherings. So not only to Commissioner Roberts, but all the commissioners, my door is always open. I can drop in my email address, or my phone number. Please reach out. I'd love to have any one of you over, or all of you over for that matter. I did want to announce that we have sort of a banquet, a yearly event coming up on December 3rd, and special invitation extended to each and every one of you. We'd love to see you there. And I'll share the flyer with Mr. Strong so that he can send it to you guys.
I'm actually available December 3rd.
Perfect.
Great. Great. Any other comments or concerns? We appreciate. Go ahead.
Commissioner Clark, I just also wanted to echo Commissioner Steffen's words. Appreciate CARE, Tasneem, as your amazing work working alongside you. It's been a pleasure just to see the impact that you've had in our community. So looking forward to continuing to work together to make our community stronger.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark.
Great.
Anaya's hand is up.
Commissioner Anaya.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and for this presentation that you gave us and giving us an update. And I echo the remarks about wanting to get to know more about your organization. I've heard good things over the years about the work that you guys do, and obviously the big elephant in the room of what prompted all of this conversation is disturbing, continues to be disturbing. And I'm an action type person, and I'd like the opportunity to maybe have a conversation with you in the future about how we mitigate those type of comments by continuing to highlight the positive that you do and how we can help elevate the positive that you do, so that we can continue to do, make sure that the positive is what's reflected, and what I consider to be rumors or false information narratives go away. So love to get together, love to talk, and maybe even come back to this group in the future with some type of proposal about how we can elevate organizations like yours and others.
Thank you, Commissioner Naya. I really appreciate those words. And, since we addressed the elephant in the room, I just, on my part, have, it's been a kind of a horrific experience. But at the same time, I have been really touched and moved by this commission and Commissioner Nash and her generosity and her leadership. So I am very grateful to each one of you for addressing this issue, and I am looking forward to working with you and learn and grow under your leadership and how to combat this in the future as well. Thank you.
Thank
Chair
you.
Nash, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I do see Commissioner Murray Ramirez's hand up.
Oh,
I'm not
oh,
sure if that's a artifact from when he first joined. Give him opportunity to speak. So.
Maybe Commissioner Nicole?
It's probably left over. Then we'll go ahead and lower his hand.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make a comment as to comments as well. I echo everything the commissioners have said here today. And we are very, very interested in the work of CARE. I did some research with leaders in the community that I know and respect, and they had nothing but great things to say about CARE. We here at the HRC, we're promoting positive human relations. And in order to promote positive human relations, we have to get to understand the work that's being done for our residents in San Diego County. So I also echo the request to meet with you sooner than later and get to know the work that you're doing in the community to uplift the community and our residents here. And we appreciate everything you're doing and respect your work. And we definitely want to get to know, and we certainly want to bring you back so that we can hear more about the good work. But it is important that Human Relations Commission take on the positive messaging about all the work that's going on in the community to uplift our residents. And when we hear negative comments, it does alarm us. But it alarms us because we want to make sure that every resident in San Diego County is in a safe space and that they are respected and cared for. And in a time that we're living in today, people are hurting. And we want to make sure that all of our residents are taken care of and they're safe. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Commissioner Nash. I look forward to meeting with each one of you. Thanks again. Commissioner Warson has her hand up, I think.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. First of all, thank you so much for presenting, and please let us know if there's any way we can support. At least personally, I don't want to speak for the commission, but also sorry. Commissioner Nicole said their mic's not working for them, so I just wanted to let everyone know that. I don't know if we want to call on them again and see if it works.
All right, thank you. We'll try again. Naresh, you want to go ahead and see if you can unmute him and see if we can allow him to speak. Yeah, I think we tried to allow him to speak, so we'll work on that, Chair Nash, to see if we could get him to
Okay.
unmute.
Okay.
But for some reason, it's not allowing him to speak. So.
There were some other technical issues with some folks from the public that are saying that their link is saying there's another meeting in progress, so they weren't able to join us today. I'm just getting those text messages as well.
If you could have them either, because at the link, they should be able to email the HRC inbox. If you could
Okay.
have them email the HRC inbox, we'll make sure they have the correct link to get them,
Okay.
to allow them to join. We do have
Okay.
other members of the public in the meeting though, just so you know. So,
Oh.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure what that issue is, but we'll definitely look into it.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's go on to our next agenda item. Communication Subcommittee letter in response to racist comments at the Board of Supervisors meeting on November 2nd.
So as you know, Madam Chair, the subcommittee met yesterday and they didn't have a quorum, so they weren't able to take any action. So it decided to bring the discussion to the larger HRC today. So I'll turn it over to you or Commissioner Anaya for discussion.
Yeah. Commissioner Anaya?
Chair, I can defer to you and
Sure.
jump in if you need me.
Okay. The racist comments or comments that were made at our November 2nd meeting, particularly directed towards our Board of Supervisors, was very alarming and very disturbing, very hateful direction. And I believe some of the commenters, public comments, folks who were having problems joining us really wanted to raise issues, particularly related to the racist comments that were directed towards the Board of Supervisors and in more specifically, our own our Director of Public Health, Dr. Wilma Wooten. And comments toward Dr. Wilma Wooten have been ongoing for the last 2 years. We are HRC, we're about promoting positive human relations. And I wanted to bring this to your attention in a way that we either respond or submit a resolution to the Board of Supervisors, as others have done, on the appropriateness of racist comments during Board of Supervisors meetings. I know there's a free speech obligation, but when there's a personal attack being made on the public, I think HRC, we need to respond. And that's why I brought this matter to the agenda today, in order for us to decide on how we want to respond and in what manner.
I just have a quick question.
This is Nicole.
This Nicole?
Yes, I thought we had put something in place. This was obviously a time-sensitive matter. And
Yeah.
I do believe we had a discussion where the chair, I think it would have been very good for you to have the authority to immediately issue a statement, because different organizations immediately do. Don't we have something in place where the chair can issue a statement on behalf of the commission, especially when it's a timely, sensitive matter?
Well, the creation of the communications subcommittee was in order for the chair to commission to actually respond where the subcommittee would have input. And unfortunately, we didn't make a quorum yesterday, so we thought we'd bring it to the full commission today to respond.
Well, in all due respects, I think we need to change that though, because then we're putting kind of more red tape on us that we've got to, I think that we have to trust the chair and know that she's going to make a statement on time sensitive issues that I would think all of us would be supportive of. But I think we missed a golden opportunity to issue a statement immediately. And it obviously didn't happen because there wasn't a quorum or whatever. isn't there a way that we can have the chair make such a statement? I know at the city commission, the chair has that authority to make a statement, obviously in the time sensitive matters, especially like this one.
And we do have, just to chime in, and we have some folks that have their hands up, but the chair does have the authority to speak on behalf of the commission. But we did set up that committee because there wanted to be more voices to help support that statement. So, we do have a county counsel on the line, Smith, if you wanted to chime in on that as well. But as you're waiting to speak, we'll call, I think, Commissioner Roberts, Commissioner Anaya, Commissioner Fowler, and then Commissioner Cinnamon Clark. Commissioner Roberts.
I just wanted to clarify what incident you're referring to. You're talking about the idiot that stood up and started talking about the public comment one, or was this a statement from a supervisor?
This was actually the public commenter that directed those awful
Just wanted to
comments.
clarify that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Anaya.
Just a couple quick points. First, I just want to point out, I know that for some of us, at least in this chambers or the county supervisor chambers, it's the first time that we hear some of these comments or we become aware of these comments in this chamber because the demographics have changed, right? Of our leadership. And it's the first time that because of those demographic and because some of the strong individuals that represent us have said it's not okay that this became an issue, that this became that people paid attention finally, right? Because our supervisors, some of our supervisors said, hey, we're not going to let this happen on our watch, right? That kind of thing. So I want to point that out. Just the other thing I want to point out is that those of us that have been involved in politics in San Diego in some way or another and have been in other chambers, this is not new. From public comment, from Chula Vista to anywhere you go, this has been an ongoing thing. I mean, if you just look at some of the recent remarks that were made towards Councilmember Padilla, for example, in Chula Vista during Drag Queen Story Hour, same disrespect, attacks on individuals. So this is a continuous thing throughout our county, right? I guess, and then to Commissioner Nicole, I just want to, I totally agree with you on the timeliness of this. When this first came up, I reached out to our chair and said, let's meet like tomorrow. And that's when we scheduled. Unfortunately, our commission did not make that quorum. I do think we need to have a backup for when that happens that we need to consider. If we are unable to bring quorum or a meeting in a timely manner to provide those additional voices, then as a de facto, our chair should be able to respond. So I think that's something we do need to consider. All that said, what I'd like to ask, and maybe legal counsel, I know there's some First Amendment issues, First Amendment rights that we do need to respect. It's a slippery slope, right? And it's not always clear. But my question, I guess, to legal counsel is there anything that can be put in place to help address these kind of situations? Code of conducts or different things that can be that can be applied during public comment or other comments that we can, I think a statement is one thing, but I think we need to make some recommendations. I'm just not sure what those recommendations could be to create an environment that doesn't allow for this kind of behavior. So again, I know it's a touchy one because we get into some free speech issues, but also, you know, it's about civility and making sure we create those spaces where all people feel safe.
Chair Nash, are you okay with me responding at this time, or do you want to take comment first? I'm legal counsel.
Oh, sure. Please, yeah,
Okay.
please respond.
I'm in for Rachel today.
Okay.
So there is a special meeting already noticed to address procedures in terms of the board and how public comment is going to be handled, et cetera, in the future. I'm waiting for details on exactly when that is. I believe it's tomorrow, and it has been noticed. I'm also waiting for details on whether you can call in and just make a statement on behalf of the HRC. So I will chime back in as soon as I get that information. But yes, the board, the clerk of the board, county staff are working diligently on getting some new procedures in place to avoid the problem that we had on Tuesday.
Excellent. Thank you for that update.
I'll pop back in once I have more information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other comments from our commissioners?
Commissioner Fowler and Commissioner Cinnamon Clark.
Okay.
Yes. Hey, good afternoon. Like after morning, I guess. So I am with my fellow commissioners as far as a timely response. I thought when we had our meeting, it was 2 weeks ago, we discussed this at great length about the chair being able to just go out with a statement. I understand that, you know, we wanted to leverage those voices, but I think it's an incredible opportunity that was missed for us to kind of stake our claim in the game, and how disrespect and racial, you know, bigotry will not be accepted. So I think we missed an opportunity as a whole because we had a long discussion about that 2 weeks ago. And I understand there was no quorum at the meeting yesterday, and that's why it's here. But again, timeliness, that was the whole conversation that we talked about at our last meeting. Also, with what Commissioner Anaya said, totally understand this is not new. However, that does not make it right, right? It happens in Chula Vista, it happens everywhere. If you're representative of any type of minority group, it happens to you probably daily. However, going on record and, you know, justifying it of sorts, I think that that was more harmful than helpful. And I'm sure that was not what the intent, but that's how I received it on my end. And lastly, as far as the permit is concerned, and the form and the procedures, I'm happy that there's a note, excuse me, a meeting that will address that. Because if I'm not mistaken, I know that there's a public form that you actually have to fill out to make a statement. There's a web form, I'm looking at it right now. So maybe some language around disrespect, bigotry, racism, ageism, whatever, should be put on that form so that they're already on notice, and repercussions if you breach, you know, whatever the rules of engagements are, excuse me, you will not be able to be afforded the opportunity to do that because you've basically breached the contract. Understand First Amendment, understand all of that. However, just because we have a new demographic on our Board of Supervisor does not make any of that acceptable. Any of the language that was experienced, and I watched the video, I watched it live actually. You know, that's why they're bailiffs. Why didn't they take them out? I know that's neither here nor there. The event is over, but I definitely wanted to address what my fellow commissioner said, and also what the fellow commissioners said about the timely response. I think it was a missed opportunity. That's all I have.
Commissioner Fowler, and then Commissioner Greeley.
Thank you, Chair. That was anytime I know that we're trying to put in protections and policies and procedures to deal with members of the public when they act out. Unfortunately, for the last couple years, the country's been in a position where people have come out and spoke openly about their feelings, you know, without regard to being tactful and respectful all around the country. I want to salute Supervisor Nora Vargas and Chair Nathan Fletcher for taking the actions that they took and actually used my colleague Cinnamon Clark. I actually salute the fact that they actually used the resources that the County of San Diego has and had the deputies remove those individuals immediately. But that's what we need to do. And the fact that the meeting was public, it was on video to let people know that if you come down there and misbehave, we don't really need to put any policy in place. We should have a policy in place. Let me say to correct that. But with if you violate it, you know what you're going to do is you're going to be immediately removed. I think that if they had a red button or something to let the deputy see a light go on, and take that person, cut the mic off, and two deputies come up and escort those individuals out of the chambers. That sends a powerful message to the public about It's a public meeting, but if you come and misbehave and disrespect people, we're gonna do. I've been to many sports competitions in the neighborhood in Southeast San Diego where I live, and you come to a basketball game, a football game at Lincoln, and you'll see 5 or 6 police cars, school police at the occasion, just to be on the lookout, and that sends a double message, a message that I oftentimes don't like. But it was good to see that individual got escorted out.
Thank you. Commissioner Gillies?
Thank you. And I agree with my fellow commissioners, and I would just don't know how we could potentially suggest, but I think a statement by the supervisors at the beginning of a meeting to just set the tone of what is expected around civility. Yes, free speech, but civility and what the rules of engagement are. So I like what Commissioner Clark said about having it on the form, but also just reading it as a role model, like this is the behavior that we want to model in this public setting. And I think that might be a good thing.
Excellent. Commissioner Clark? And then Commissioner De Los Ruiz.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize my hand was still up. I don't have anything else.
That's Commissioner Kate Clark.
Oh.
So echoing all of what my colleagues have shared already, and I also just will say that, you know, I think before the comments that were shared that we're referencing here, the temperature of the speech was already really quite teetering that balance between inappropriate and First Amendment. And, you know, I myself as an attorney understand that balance, you know, a lot, and certainly know that the county is reconciling with how to walk that fine line. But I do think that, you know, well in advance of that, there were comments that were shared that were quite frankly very inappropriate and should not have happened. And so my recommendation is also to look into what other counties and cities, this is not a new topic of unfortunate situation, of course, that is confronted every single day by multiple levels of government. And so I think we can look to other models, perhaps. I don't know if it makes sense to have a county council in the room that is maybe an expert on the First Amendment, so that, you know, the mic can be cut off where there is that line, and it certainly goes to hate speech. But I think we also need to be swift in sort of just monitoring it so as not to incite others. And also just say I'm really concerned about members of the community wanting to provide public comment. You know, that's the intention of these meetings, is to get constituents' voices heard. And I'm quite concerned that our members of our community are not going to feel safe in sharing their voice without the appropriate sort of you know, level of decorum and how we can just treat each other with civility and recognize the intention behind the meeting in the first place. So those are just some additional recommendations that I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Anyone else have comments?
Commissioner,
I believe I had my hand up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner, Co-Chair, Chair. I concur with all my commissioners, but even though it was a missed opportunity, I believe it's an opportunity for us to take a role and responsibility in, one, supporting our Board of Supervisors, because they did the right thing. And also, you know, I know that we have to research and see what we can put in place, but I believe that we as a Human Relations Commission need to send a letter of support for the Board of Supervisors, one, and second, you know, maybe recommend what our recommendations are coming out of this meeting going forward, so that we can support them and also put something in place, because I believe that's our responsibility in order to stop the hate speech, hate incidents, and hate crimes. So thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Desert.
want to thank all my fellow commissioners for their comments on this. It is heartbreaking and infuriating to hear hate speech spoken like it was at the meeting. And at the same time, the First Amendment is a real right that we enjoy in this country. And unfortunately, most hate speech, unless it directly incites violence in a very direct way, or something like calling out fire in a crowded room when that's not true, is protected under the under the First Amendment. And so I know that is frustrating. I know that is difficult. These are the moments where that right can be deeply painful for our communities. But at the same time, I want to say that how you fight hate speech is with speech and action. Vice Chair Vargas said, "Not in my house, not under my watch," and she stood up and made a stand that kind of language may be legal, but it's not right. And we had an opportunity as a community to support Vice Chair Vargas in her actions. There was a groundswell of support for what she did, which was deeply encouraging. We support, we fight hate with action and speech. And so I do support an expedited process for this group to make statements in a faster way to call attention when hateful things happen. And community action, when we rally together, as this community did after the Board of Supervisor meeting, has consequences. That gentleman lost his radio show, and that's a real consequence because of what we did. And it's a direct result of what Chair Fletcher and Vice Chair Vargas did, creating the opportunity for us as community to support what they did. And so I just want to say, you know, it is deeply painful sometimes to stand by the First Amendment, and very few hateful speech is unprotected. And so I just want to say that. I'm an attorney. I have some experience with the First Amendment. It can be deeply frustrating, but we fight hate with action, with justice, and with love. Proud of our supervisors for modeling that this is unacceptable, for calling attention, and for allowing us as communities to support their actions and to stand up and say that it's not right.
I see Commissioner Murray Ramirez and Commissioner Roberts' hands are up.
Yes, I think that we shouldn't forget also our Director of Health, what she was subjected to. I think a letter of support for her is very important because, as the chair said, and I think many of you are aware, she's been subjected to threats and everything for 2 years, some really ugly and attacks on her. And I think absolutely we should send a letter of support to the board, and as Commissioner Dessert said, concerning how the vice chair handled it, Supervisor Vargas, but I think we should also send a letter of support to our health director, who I think, and we all know, was subjected to the worst of it.
Commissioner Roberts.
Commissioner Roberts?
Oh, okay. I wanted to agree completely with what Commissioner Dessert had to say. Clamping down on the Second Amendment is, or it's the First Amendment, Second Amendment too, but First Amendment is a true slippery slope. I mean, when you start having people making decisions of what's right and what's wrong to be said, you have, you know, people making decisions about misinformation or, you know, questioning other people. That's what this First Amendment was written all about. If somebody wants to stand up, and I'm going to make this as blatant as possible, and make a total idiot of themselves and be willing to suffer the consequences, that is something that's protected by the First Amendment. And you know, and I'm really glad to hear that this guy was, you know, lost his radio show. I mean, that kind of effort isn't necessary. It isn't appreciated by a lot of people, and I, even as a hardcore conservative, think that is completely and totally out of line. But along with the evil Nazis and people that have the right to speak, you know, they do, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's that double-edged sword thing. And we have the right and the authority and the option of disagreeing with them and saying and putting them in, correcting what they're saying, but everybody does have the opportunity to say what they need to say. So anyways, thank you.
Commissioner Fowler, Chair Nash.
Yeah, I just want to comment on that last comment. And from time to time, we do have disagreements here at this. I didn't hear anyone else on the call that we're currently on today talk about what their political affiliation is. And I don't believe this has anything to do with political affiliation, whether you're conservative, you're liberal, or whatever, or in the middle, it doesn't matter. And if we buy into what the comments that were just made, somebody has to be disrespected, and their rights have had to be violated in order for someone else to be able to speak their mind. And I don't think that's proper. Proper decorum in a public forum. We live in a country where ultimately, if you bring a case, you can go to the U.S. Supreme Court. That type of behavior would not be tolerated in the U.S. Supreme Court, and matter of factly, it would not be tolerated right here in the county court. So that we need to come up that person got escorted out, and that should have always happened immediately.
Any other commissioners?
I don't see any other hands, Madam Chair, but if I may just chime in real quick on the special meeting. And I want everybody to know that a lot of work has been done over the weekend with county staff to try to figure out what can we do as it relates to making sure there's decorum inside the chamber. So you'll see a lot of that at the special meeting tomorrow. And also, Chair Nash, you're able to call in and speak if you would like to call in and make a statement. They'll be on the lookout for your phone number. So if that's something that this commission chooses to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Any other commission comments?
Chair Nash, this is for the errands again. You do need to fill out a form though ahead of time with your phone number so that, and then, they'll be on the lookout for your phone number. But you do still need to fill out the form.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, please send me the instructions and I'll be happy to speak to this issue. I do want to I do also want to say that the Leon Williams Human Relations Commission should be elevated to the level where we're not an afterthought. I agree that the HRC, we could have responded quickly, but there were other opportunities where our voices could have been heard immediately. So in the future, I think when it comes to our role, particularly if it's about promoting positive human relations, that we should be immediately reached out to and sought after in terms of being included into those conversations. Because it's about making people feel, it's about our residents feeling safe. And it's important that the Leon Williams Human Relations Commission is always at the table immediately for a response. I appreciate all the comments, and today's theme of our 2-hour meeting is a theme that I don't like to really deal with regard to anti-hate. But this is where we are today. And yes, it's some of these hateful incidents are coming so fast. We're all volunteers, and it's coming fast and furious in a way that we're going to have to step up our game. Yes, we do. But it has been a reality check over the course of the last 2 years, but particularly over the course of the last 2 weeks. So we will definitely act accordingly. Are there any opportunities for a vote on this matter of such? I think we were asking to give the chair authority to make immediate responses. I think that may have already been, has already happened.
Yeah.
But anything else we need to take a vote on, or just proceed with action?
You can just proceed with action.
Okay.
Chair Nash. You have the authority to make those statements and
Okay.
add letters as needed.
My communication subcommittee is of value to me personally. And I want to make a statement that I won't take action without going through the communication subcommittee. So quorum is important. And if you're on that subcommittee, I need you to in attendance if you would like to get on that subcommittee, so we can always have quorum, because we will have immediate special meetings coming up. Please reach out, please let me know, because your input on the communication subcommittee, as you can see, obviously, is very, very important and very timely in terms of getting the kind of response that we want to represent our commission to be. So please, either if you can't be involved with that committee because of quorum, please let me know. If you can, please step up, because that committee is very important to me in my role as the chair. Thank you very much.
And I see Commissioner Gillies hands up.
I thank you. First, I want to apologize, Chair, because you know that I was overseas at a funeral and I am one of the members and I missed the meeting yesterday. But I'd love to see more members. So in an emergency, we still have a quorum. I just wanted to clarify, because we had this question on the city HRC, the same question. And it was determined, and maybe there are different legalities, but it was determined that the chair of the city HRC could write a letter as the chair, but not on behalf of the commission. And I just want to clarify if that's still the case for this commission.
It is. So if the letter was, if the chair was to draft a letter without going to the subcommittee, it would be on behalf of her. Without going to the entire committee to be approved. The delegation was given to the subcommittee to respond to these types of events as a subcommittee on behalf of the chair or on behalf of the commission itself. So if the chair said, for example, if we didn't have a quorum and the chair decided to write the letter, it would be on behalf of the chair.
Okay.
That would be the
Thank
immediate
you.
action that you would do. Thank you.
Thanks for the
And feel free to-
clarification.
I think I got that right. Our counsel just said I said it right, so that's good.
Great, great. Well, thanks for the clarification. Thank you. Okay. Can we go on to the next agenda item? Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Okay. Commissioner,
Commissioner Marita Midas' request that we also send a note to Wilma Wooten. Just wanted to make sure that didn't get lost.
That's right. And I can circle back with you, Chair Nash. I have on the list 2 letters of support, one to the Board of Supervisors, and specifically, I believe Supervisor Fletcher and Supervisor Vargas, but also to Dr. Wilma Wooten in support and
okay.
Commission.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe Chair Nash, if I may, I just want to assure the commission that anytime an incident like this happens, just for you to know what happens behind the scenes from the DA's perspective, is we pull the tapes, because what we are looking for is whether there was a criminal threat, because that then that's a different thing where the DA then can step in, like we do when we distinguish between hate incidents and actually hate crimes and threats. Hateful speech, unfortunately, as has been mentioned, for the most part, is permissible, but anything that is a threat or incites a threat is a different category and can be a crime. So just for you to kind of know that there's work that always goes on where we pull those and we are looking at whether that line was crossed for 2 reasons. One is to protect the safety of the persons that are being threatened, to make sure that they have a safety plan those kinds of things, and then to see if there is an actionable conduct, actionable criminal enforcement that can be brought. So that happens routinely, but we don't talk about it because these are, I'm talking about it now to give you the general process, but we don't then announce something unless there's a conclusion that we're gonna charge something.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Stefan. Okay, let's move on to agenda item 7. It's a letter from the City of San Diego Human Relations Commissioner Tootie Thomas regarding the ending discrimination and transphobia by amplifying the visibility and voices of the transgender community. That's our agenda item 7.
And Chair
Is
Nash, I'm sorry.
Is
This was,
Commissioner Thomas here? Is
No, but I am
Okay.
speaking on that behalf. Okay, what we're trying to accomplish here with my fellow city commissioner representing the transgender community is to achieve a combined letter of support or a proclamation which will send a strong signal that the city and the county human relations is in big support of the transgender community, ending transphobia, hate, and discrimination. So that's one. And there are other opportunities that the County Human Relations Commission can show support. There is the Transgender Pride Flag raising ceremony on Saturday, November 13th, 11 a.m. at the Hillcrest Pride Flag. And then it's the kickoff for the Transgender Awareness Week. And on November 20th, exactly the Transgender Day of Remembrance, there will be a celebration at the Waterfront Park, starting from 5 to 6 on Pacific Highway. So if you need more information, you can contact me. But what I'm trying to accomplish here is for the full commission to join the city Human Relations Commission in making a statement of support or a proclamation of support for the transgender community. Thank you so much.
Any comments from our commissioners?
Yes, I kind of feel obligated to make a statement or make a comment because I'm the other transgender commissioner here. I certainly don't have an issue with, a resolution of support from both the county and the city. I unfortunately won't be around for the Transgender Day of Remembrance this year because I'm visiting my grandson in Texas that day. So I'll take that as a positive thing. But anyways, I appreciate the desire to work on, making things more equitable for trans people. I know I certainly suffered enough bullying and abuse when I was in junior high school because of not necessarily being gender conforming. So, which is why I have a really hardcore focus on anti-bullying programs and service projects. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Roberts.
Commissioner Desert.
I want to thank Commissioners Legaspi and Roberts for sharing, for shining a light on the need for much more support from our region for our transgender community, and wanted to shine a light on our non-binary community. I run the San Diego LGBT Community Center, and I'll tell you all, as we look to our youth, those who come to the center who are 24 years of age or younger, as young as 6 years old, and increasingly a large number, predominating our youth services are transgender or non-binary young people looking for support. So this is an important issue, and it will be even more important in the coming years. So I want to thank Commissioner Legaspi and Roberts for their leadership as we all work to do more and stand in solidarity with our transgender and non-binary communities. Thank you so much.
I apologize for not mentioning the non-binary community. That actually it's part of what I'm supposed to say. So I apologize. And on that note, maybe it happens for the reason I was supposed to be out of the county for that date, but plans got canceled. So it falls on my birthday weekend. So I will be celebrating my birthday weekend with my transgender community. Thank you so much.
Great. Any other commissioner comments? My question is, how would we combine this letter from the city of San Diego County, or city human relations and the county? How would we make that letter happen?
Okay, I think what I'm thinking is the city commission will have their letter, and then the county would have that letter. So it's like two
Combined.
letters are combined as one.
Okay, and the chairs would sign it? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, great. Do we need to have a vote on that to take action on this matter, or?
I think we do need to have a vote since it's on behalf of the entire commission.
Okay.
And also, I think it probably just be best to have the chairs work with Julia and her counterpart at the city to draft that letter.
Great.
I do see a member of the public, I believe, with their hand up. Mike Alston, Chair Nash, if you would like them to speak.
Yes.
Okay. We have 2 minutes.
Yes, on that topic. I'll be brief. On that topic, wouldn't 2 letters be more impactful? 2 separate letters rather than 1? That's my comment.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I have suggested.
2 letters, 2 separate letters, Commissioner? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So the motion on the table is to have 2 separate letters, one from the City of San Diego Human Relations Commission and 1 separate letter from the county, the Leon Williams San Diego County Human Relations Commission.
Yeah, expressing.
I'd make the motion since it actually wasn't made, and I think it's appropriate for Julia to second it.
I second. Thank you.
Call for discussion. All right, let's call for the vote.
All right, Commissioner Anaya.
Aye.
Vice Chair Arton.
Aye.
Commissioner Kate Chason. Commissioner Kate Clark.
Aye.
Commissioner Cinnamon Clark. Commissioner Cinnamon Clark. Commissioner De Los Rios. Commissioner De Los Rios. Commissioner Desert.
Pride, I vote aye.
Commissioner Elliott Santos.
Aye.
Commissioner Evans.
Aye.
Commissioner Farouk.
Aye.
Commissioner Fowler.
Aye.
Commissioner Gillies.
Aye.
Commissioner Edith Sanchez on behalf of Sheriff Ward.
I did have a quick question. Sorry, being that I'm new, are we approving to have this letter, but will we vote on the letter once it's been already structured? Is that I'm just trying to understand how this works.
No, the motion will be to draft the letter and to send it on behalf of the commission. I believe you need to make a separate motion if you wanted to review it. And council, feel free to chime in if that's inaccurate.
Your understanding is correct, Andrew.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, well, I would like to defer at this moment to ensure I, get the, connect with the sheriff on this.
Okay, so you abstain? Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Griffin Jones? Commissioner Hassan?
Aye.
Commissioner Hodges?
Abstain.
Commissioner Ismail?
Aye.
Commissioner Corey? Commissioner Legaspi?
Aye.
Commissioner Murray Ramirez? Commissioner Murray Ramirez?
Aye.
Chair Nash?
Aye.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez? Armenia? Commissioner Ryman? Commissioner Roberts?
Let me think about this. Oh yeah, aye.
Commissioner Ruderman? DA Stephan?
Aye.
Commissioner Villaforte? Count this up real quick. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Madam Chair, we need 18 votes. That actually does not pass. We only have 17 votes. We have 2 abstentions.
Okay. Okay.
Is there another way we can promote this or promulgate this request or this motion?
Do we actually, have we changed our quorum at this point in time? Because I know a couple people dropped out.
Oh.
I see Commissioner Anaya's hand up, and if council could chime in on that. I haven't looked at the list of folks who've dropped out in a while, so let me take a look at that. We'll confer with council. But Commissioner Anaya, I see your hand is up.
Is there any way to retake the vote or amend the motion and take a vote that allows for the approval of this motion based on the contingency that the sheriff's office approves?
I would be willing to amend my motion that way.
So in essence, we approve it and we're just waiting for the formality of the, the sheriff.
You can amend your motion in that way.
So duly amending the motions.
And I see Commissioner Evans' hand is up as well.
I'm in support of what was just stated. Honestly, I feel for us not to, and I'm speaking only for Eleanor Evans and from my heart, that we ignore a segment of our population. I think it only brands us as being, for want of a better term, hypocritical. Okay, we're supposed to be here to demonstrate and to promulgate and enforce kindness, humility, acceptance of all individuals. And yet, we sit here not doing that. For one of the most marginalized group of people, that transcends all ethnicities, religions, whatever. Thank you.
I'm not quite sure what Commissioner Evans said.
You're not sure what I just said?
Yeah, it kind of seemed to bounce around, and you had faded in and out a little.
I'm really upset. Maybe that's why it's bouncing around, but I'm really upset that this did not pass. And I think it really should have. And I was really addressing those people who abstain. I understand they have the right to abstain, but also they need to look within their own hearts as to what it is we do and where we are and where they should even be on this commission.
This is Commissioner Ramirez. Can I say something?
Absolutely.
I'm concerned, and I'll do respects to the sheriff. Sometimes the sheriff frequently is not on this meeting and sends representatives. Now, this concerns me because I am a past chair of the sheriff's LGBTQ advisory board, and I know that Sheriff Gore would have voted for this. So it strikes me unfortunate that if the sheriff can't be here, that in all due respects, he has a representative that does not know the issues or his feelings on this. I am sure that the sheriff would have absolutely voted for this. Julia Legaspi is on his advisory board currently. So this representative thing, I don't understand. Does this mean that the rest of us can send representatives on our behalf, or is it only the office holders?
Our directives, our procedures said that only Stephen Summers or Summer 7 and Bill Gore could send representatives due to their official status and duties.
Thank you for that comment. And I will say, unfortunately, the sheriff is out of town, and that's one of the reasons why he could not be here. And, in speaking with him on the process and me attending to these meetings, he did let me know, it's okay to let people know that we can get back. So it's not a yes or a no, again, on this important issue being discussed. I just want to clarify that. And I'm just trying to follow, the best process at this time. And thank you for your grace, again, as I'm learning in this new role. Thank you.
I also see, I thought I saw Commissioner Farouk's hand up.
May I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
Hi, sorry. I was just trying to rejoin the call as I was disconnected.
Commissioner Legaspi.
Okay, may I say that the transgender community is not asking for another special privilege or another special treatment. We're just asking for support because, as I mentioned, the transgender community has always been at the back of the, we were invisible before, and now we were trying to get out of invisibility, to have our voice heard. So this is not a special treatment that we have been asking for. That's all I have to say. Sorry for being emotional because this is a very touchy subject on me. I don't want to disappoint my community. And I try to represent my community the best I can. Thank you.
Chair Nash, I don't know if it's my turn. If it is.
Yes.
If it is, I agree that the sheriff would have approved this. And I think we need to move this item along forward, and probably the simplest way to do it is to take the vote, but allow for a review of the letter that you write, which of course is going to be a brilliant letter that the sheriff will approve. So it would just have amending the motion that it's subject to the sheriff reading your letter. So I think county council, we can make a motion like that. And that way this item will pass today.
Correct.
Yeah, that motion has been amended to include that. So we could re-vote if discussion is over, and I could call a question.
Do we have a first and a second?
We did.
Okay, and is discussion over? I see hands up, though. I see Commissioner Desert, Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Evans, in that order, please.
I'm putting my hand down.
Okay. Commissioner Desert?
Desert, Chair Nash, thank you.
Desert, I'm sorry.
No problem. I just want to call out a moment of humanity here. I know everyone is a part of this commission, as Chair Nash reminds us, as volunteers to further our communities here in San Diego County, and it is deeply disappointing. And I want to honor the sadness that I heard from Commissioner Legatsky and the frustration and anger that I heard from Commissioner Evans. This is a tough moment. I know we're going to do our best to move forward with our values in support of the transgender and non-binary community, but this is a really rough moment, and it pulls at my heartstrings, and I am deeply saddened by this moment as a part of this commission. I also wanted to ask the chair or maybe members of county staff what our rules are regarding proxy voting. I'm so sorry, I don't know those off the top of my head. I know we all have an obligation to come to meetings as we're able, and things happen. I understand the sheriff has another pressing obligation, but what is available to us to ensure that we submit proxy votes when possible? Is that possible? Just a reminder on that process, Chair Nash, please.
Chair Nash, I have really good news. The sheriff just texted back to me approving the motion, and I'm pretty sure that his representative will accept my representation that the sheriff is approving it.
Excellent.
And I'm not sure if council wants to chime in on the proxy voting, but I believe it was articulated correctly by Commissioner Roberts, but feel free to chime in, County Council.
Exactly what Commissioner Roberts said. Only the DA and the sheriff allows proxy voting. Everybody else has to be present and voting.
Part of the Brown Act problem. I had one other comment. Pastor Hodges also abstained, and we're kind of focusing on the sheriff's office. I'm wondering if there's something we can do to address Commissioner Hodges' abstention.
I don't know what the subject matter. I mean, I came in late, so I don't know what's going on.
Would you like me to summarize my motion in that respect? Would that help you understand?
It possibly will.
Okay. The motion on the floor is to prepare a resolution or a letter, actually a letter from our San Diego County Leon L. Williams Human Relations Commission to offer support for the transgender community specifically, and we had amended the original motion to allow the sheriff to perform a review, which has now been clarified, but the motion still involves a review. And the reason for this is a letter written by Tutsi, what's her last name? I'm sorry, my brain just died.
Thomas.
A request from the city the San Diego City Human Relations Commission, that she wishes that both of us submit such a letter to, basically to the world. So that's what my motion.
And the letter is for what? What is the letter for?
Just offering support to the transgender community.
Ending discrimination and transphobia by amplifying the visibility and voices of the transgender community.
Well, I need to say this. I love all people. I love transgenders as well. But to me, it's an abomination to the eyes of God. So I don't agree with it. I don't agree with transgenderism.
So you're going to abstain?
Yes, that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have Commissioner Perez and Commissioner Sanchez hands up.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I voted in favor of the motion, and I'm also in agreement with the revised motion. But I don't think it's a good idea for us to be digging into people's abstentions. I've never seen this done. Because to me, it leads me to believe, okay, 2 or 3 people maybe abstained. I just don't think it's right that we go and pressure them to change their vote, because for whatever reasons they abstained, obviously for something. And one thing is that they didn't understand the motion. Okay, that's perfectly clear, because we can also say, can you repeat the motion? But for us to be, I don't think it's appropriate what we're doing. And if I would have been the only one abstained, I wouldn't want the whole commission questioning me as to why. I didn't appreciate the comment about calling them hypocritical either. That we are not hypocritical. We all have our own opinions and our own thoughts. And I think being forced into a motion, I think that's inappropriate. I've never seen a board, and I've sat on boards do that. I don't agree with any of that. Again, I stand by my vote. I agreed with the motion, but for us to be pressuring people about their abstentions, never seen that done. And I'm pretty disappointed that we are actually singling people out that way.
Okay, my apologies. I just like to try to reach consensus.
I don't feel pressured, and I don't mind telling my thoughts of what I think in regards to the Word of God, and I'm sticking with that. I'm against all sin, and I'm against anything that's not lining up with what the Bible says. So that's where I am, and I don't feel pressured about it, but I am going to speak the truth. I'm not.
And I think that's okay, but maybe somebody else would have feel pressured about it. So I mean, I think that's great that you don't, and you're okay. I'm just speaking in general.
This is Commissioner Ramirez. I'm more concerned about a statement made at this commission meeting about, in the eyes of God, that 2 of our members are abomination. We've just discussed a board of supervisors meeting, and now we have one of our commissioners. We have 2 commissioners who are transgender, I believe 3, and now no one seems to be concerned about pressuring. Let's be concerned about the statement that 2 of our transgender commissioners are abomination to God. This is so disrespectful and
I agree with that
unacceptable.
too. I agree with that too. That this whole meeting right now, I'm truly disappointed in the comments and the way we're going about it. It really needs to stop. We should be the example, and here we are doing the exact same thing. I agree 100%.
Well, then maybe
this is Commissioner Evans. And
Commissioner,
may I speak?
Wait,
this is Commissioner Evans.
All right, Commissioner Evans, and then we will. Then I have some statements to make. Go ahead.
Through the chair. All right, and I will not apologize for what I said. I think we're supposed to be the role model for the community, and we were elected and selected to represent everyone's position in terms of human relationships, human rights. And I stand by my word. I stand in my truth. I did not say it to pressure anyone, but perhaps for people to realize that, we cannot be selective. We'll support this group of people. We will not support that group of people. And that's what the message is coming out into the community. That was my point. And it is heartbreaking when I interpret it that way. And I think I'm really, when it comes to human relations, very liberal. Okay. So that's my statement, and that's my stance. And surely, you know, I'm only 5 feet tall, a little old lady, so I don't think I can pressure anyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Evans. Commissioner, I see hands up. Commissioner Anaya's hand has been up for a while. Also, the sheriff's designee, Edith Sanchez.
I'm just, I can echo some of the comments of disappointment, but I'm going to attempt for a second it appears to me that we now have the votes necessary to move this forward and support this community. So I'd like to formally call the question. Hopefully this can be, me calling the question can be seconded, so there can be no more objection and no more comments. And we can move straight to a vote and move forward.
I'll second that. Commissioner Evans speaking.
Agree with
Okay.
calling the question.
Let's call for the question.
All right, we'll vote.
Let's call for the vote.
Commissioner Anaya,
Aye.
Commissioner Arton,
Aye.
Commissioner Kate Chason, Commissioner Kate Clark, Commissioner Kate Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Cinnamon Clark, Commissioner Cinnamon Clark, Commissioner De Los Rios, Commissioner De Los Rios,
She's still on.
Commissioner De Los Rios.
She's muted.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Commissioner Desert,
You muted yourself.
Commissioner Desert,
Aye.
Commissioner Angela Elliott Santos,
Aye.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Farouk,
Aye.
Commissioner Fowler,
Aye.
Commissioner Gillies,
Aye.
Commissioner Gore or Edith Sanchez on behalf of Sheriff Gore,
On behalf of Sheriff Gore, aye.
Commissioner Griffiths Jones, Commissioner Hassan, Commissioner Hassan,
No.
Commissioner Hodges,
Abstain.
Commissioner Ismail,
Aye.
Commissioner Corey, Commissioner Legaspi,
Aye.
Commissioner Murray Ramirez,
Aye.
Chair Nash,
Aye.
Commissioner Perez,
Aye.
Commissioner Ramirez, Commissioner Ryman, Commissioner Roberts,
Aye, sir.
Commissioner Ruderman, DA Stefan,
Aye.
and we'll go back to Commissioner De Los Rios.
Aye.
That motion passes with 18 votes.
Thank you.
Thank you, fellow commissioner.
Thank you, Matthew. Yes, a very good point. I know that in the beginning we had established.
Hello?
I'm sorry, Commissioner De Los Rios, was that a comment on your behalf? And Chair Nash, we still have hands up if you would like to take those comments before we move.
Yes, please. More hands?
Commissioner Perez,
I'm sorry, I forgot to take my hand down. I'm good. Thank you.
Commissioner Sanchez, or Edith. on behalf of Chair Ford.
Are we revoting again?
No, we already
Your-
voted. I just. I
your
see
hands up.
Yeah, your hand is up.
Oh, sorry, I wanted to confirm the vote on behalf of the sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Desert, you have your hand up?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Since the beginning of this commission, I'm one of the original members. And in the founding documents, there are certain organizations whose voices were considered so important by our Board of Supervisors that our organization has a seat at this table. That includes the San Diego LGBT Center. And so I just want to say from the very beginning of this commission, it has been intentionally inclusive of our LGBTQ community and has included that community specifically as one of the many communities that we want to further human relations for in this region. And to hear Commissioner Hodges say what he said, he has a First Amendment right, and I respect that. And at the same time, that was absolutely hate speech that our fellow commissioners, including Commissioner Legatsky and Roberts, should not have to be subjected to in this space. Everyone has the right to their own religious beliefs, and I respect that. But if you cannot separate that from the mission and the values of this commission, I respectfully request that you resign.
Thank you. That's what I was wanting to express, and I'm sorry that it came across as confusing, but thank you so much, Commissioner Kara.
We have to also have Commissioner Gillies.
Thank you. I would just like to, it's important enough that I would like to really echo Commissioner Desert's thoughts and feelings, and that we are all entitled to our own opinions, but words matter, and we should be the role models of how we expect the community to behave, and this should not be a place for hate within this commission. And that was just incredibly disappointing. And I don't know what the commission is allowed to do to act on that type of speech, but that type of speech is totally unacceptable in this forum.
Commissioner Hodges and then Commissioner Roberts.
Well, let me say this, you call it hate speech, but I call it what the word of God says, and I stick with that. Like I said at the beginning, I love everybody. If that's what you choose to be as a transgender, I still love you. But my piece is the Holy Spirit, he changed me, and I know he can change others to live according to what the word of God says. And when I was first asked to come part of this by the supervisor, Mr. Anderson, I told him where I stood. He understood that, and he asked me to be a part of this. So here I am. Now, if you want to put me off, you can do that, but I'm still going to stand on what on the promises of the word of God. So that's up to you. I'm not just gonna quit because the man asked me to be a part of this board. So if you want to put me off, but I'm still going to teach and preach what I do. That's not going to change.
Mr. Roberts.
I find myself in this position a lot because I deal with a lot of very conservative evangelical ministries, and I'm actually, being called an abomination isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life, but I temper that back from my comment with the First Amendment and the right of any human being to have their opinion and their thoughts about things. Do I appreciate it? Do I appreciate being called that? No. Do I appreciate the fact that Reverend Hodges has these beliefs and feels dedicated to a level at which I would never find myself dedicated to a religious conviction? But as the target of that comment, or one of the targets of that comment, I will accept his explanation that is the depth of his belief, and I will endeavor in the future to work with him and other people of that community to recognize that transgender people, and it's transgender people, not transgenders, is that we'll work on that little piece of English first. Transgender is an adjective, not a noun. And so that I've said my piece. So. And one more thing, I'm sorry. I did specifically want to question people about their thoughts because I wanted to have us be able to reach some degree of consensus on these issues. And it was not meant as an attack on any individual.
Commissioner Fowler, we have 7 minutes, and I really would like to get to these school incidents on the agenda.
Thank you, Chair. Just let me make this brief comment. I disagree with Commissioner Hodges' comments, but I do believe that we have several attorneys on the call. We got county counsel, we got the DA from the county of San Diego on the call, and several other people. Commissioner Hodges has a right to abstain, and that's what abstention. One of our other commissioners already talked about that. Is that when you abstain, you don't have to give an explanation. You just abstain from the vote, and people should respect that. And we wouldn't be in that discussion if that was the case.
Okay, thank you. We took the vote, and the decision has been made. We have about 5 minutes left. I may need about 5 minutes of your time, but we do need to get to the school incidents piece, at least have a discussion about it. No action taken at this time, but I think we do have, because of our technology challenge, I think we do have someone that wanted to public comment to speak to that on the call now. If you're there in regards to public comment, could you please make your comments now?
Is it
Thank
Erin
you.
Marie Glass-Blake?
Yes,
Okay, we can allow her to unmute.
thank you.
Hello? Okay.
Hello.
Okay, you can hear me. So good afternoon. First of all, I just want to say this discussion that just took place is everything that has to do with human relations and how we navigate through conflict. And I think we're seeing a lot of these things play out in schools, and young people don't always have the tools and the resources to be able to navigate through the conflict like you all just did. And so my question is, a while back, the county said we are going to be taking up issues around Black boys and men. Then the county also declared racism as a health crisis. And so we also know it's a public safety crisis. And so there's many of you on this commission that do the work. And I want to know, what is the actual implementation plan to make sure that we put a program together countywide to address the racial divides, not just the racial divides, but the bullying, do the restorative justice work that takes place. We know if you all adults are having so many issues navigating through these hard conversations and conflicts, our kids are especially having that. And that's showing up in our games, that's showing up in the classrooms, that's showing up in every aspect of the schooling system. And so I know we had this conversation almost a year ago. And so my thing is, I'm kind of beyond just having the conversation. What is the action plan? What is the implementation plan looking like? And you have people like myself who are willing to help roll out the plan, but we have to be really willing to do the work and put something out there. And this is what I believe the board is for. And so what does that look like?
Looks like we also have another member of the public, Christina, that wants to speak. Chair Nash.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi, this is Commissioner Christina Griffin Jones. Can I be promoted or I can just do public comment here?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, thank you. Okay, I'm unmuted now. I'm very disturbed by and you know, I'm sorry, my work schedule just allowed me to hop on. I'm very disturbed by the very transphobic comments I think that were shared before this agenda item, and I think discussions of school hate incidents, like this is a perfect time to talk about it. There are Black trans students in San Diego, and I'm very uncomfortable, not only by like that a space like this, comments like that about trans folks could be said by commissioner. And I'm also going to be like, you know, holding multiple identities, right, exists too. I'm also disturbed by the amount of hate towards Black people in the commissioners that sit on this commission. I think that this meeting, I'm terrified and disgusted as somebody who was put on this board by a person who represents the queer community. This is not what Leon Williams like stood for. And I just think the language that's been used today to talk about trans folks, the behavior of people off of the commission towards Black people and towards trans folks has been disgusting. And I just wanted to make sure to voice how disgusted and discouraged and horrified that a commissioner was allowed to speak like that about trans folks, and no one stop it. We saw an example of Vice Chair Vargas, how like you know, racism wasn't allowed to like stay, and like yeah, y'all, we really need to address the violence that happened on this call and continues to happen on calls like this within this commission. So that's all I had to say. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Christina. I brought up the agenda item discussion on school hate, and it again goes along with all of the theme this morning on anti-hate. But if adults don't model the right behavior, as some of you have said, then of course our students and children will also not model the correct behavior as well. So the discussion on hate incidents in the school is continuing. And again, if we're about promoting positive human relations, then things need to happen. We need programs. We need a program similar to what Aramik Glass-Blake has said. We need programs in the schools. And I'm challenging our youth commission, and I'm challenging the adults on this call too, that we need to take action in regards to hate across the board. From the discussion we started earlier today all the way to this moment at 12:01, we're still discussing the topic of hate. And it needs to be addressed. I would like the commission to consider some actions, steps that we could take in order to address some of the hate incidents in the schools. And maybe we can continue this discussion at another commission meeting. But it is important that we take this issue on as a commission in regards to hate. Now, I want to say something in regards to the voices that have been raised. Yes, some of it has been hurtful. I'm sitting here in tears like everyone else, but this commission is about hearing all voices, the good, bad, and the ugly. And as a chair, it is important that we hear where folks are coming from, but we have a system in place, and it's called voting. And the votes speak for itself. And we act based on a system and a procedure and a process. Even as hurtful as it has been, we have the votes. We're able to take action based on the process. And when the process fails, then as chair, I fail. There was a process that we put in place where we took the vote. There was some comments that were made that I didn't appreciate as well. But as long as my vote and my voice is heard, then we will take action. I'm not going to apologize for my stand on issues. This is about promoting positive human relations. And I think we all should check our hearts and our minds, and we should really just decide, is this really the right commission to be on? If our goal is to promote positive human relations, then we need to check ourselves. My personal experience, I am a pastor's daughter. I was raised in Pentecost. But over the years, I have learned, years and years of working in the community, I have learned that hate has nowhere and no space at all. We transition, we transform. And I'm at a different place than I was when I was a little kid growing up in the Pentecostal church. I'm a whole different person now. It's at celebrating a birthday, a 68th birthday. I'm in a whole different space, a whole different place. And some of us, maybe we need to check our hearts and our minds. And this is about love. It's not about hate. And if you want to come at it from a hateful standpoint, evil standpoint, then you really have no place here in this space. I want to say, are there any other comments?
Yes, this is Commissioner Ramirez.
Yes, sir.
This is Commissioner Ramirez.
Oh,
I
yes.
think that we are ignoring what, as Commissioner Dessert said, and some of us and almost all of us have been on this commission since the beginning. And
Yes.
as you recall, Madam Chair, that you made sure that the disrespect of commissioners would not be tolerated. Well, I think today it's crossed that line, and they have been beyond disrespected. I mean, what was going to be the reaction if a commissioner says, well, in my belief, Black people, Latino people, Jewish people are abomination and are sinful? I wonder if there would be that much quietness. This is so outrageous that this issue is not addressed, and the disrespect, and it was hate. The Commissioner Hodges may not think it was a hate speech, but it is a hate speech. And I'm sure that Commissioner Julia Gaspy has something to say about it.
Yeah, let me say, this is not new to me. I've been subjected to ridicule, hate, discrimination, but this comment hurts me. It's just like I've been stabbed in my heart. You know, I am a Eucharistic minister. I work with all religion, actually. I'm so proud to be the first transgender elected to president by a Catholic organization. I walk by faith and not by sight.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Chair Nash, we have Commissioner Elliott Santos, Commissioner Griffin-Jones, and Commissioner Fowler's hands up, and I need to double check to see if we still have quorum, and we are at time at 12:06 as well.
Okay, I think I really am mindful for everyone's time. I have a commitment that we will adjourn as close to 12 as possible. So if you could make your comments really, really brief. We do have the Brown Act that we need to comply with, but outside of the Brown Act, there will be other discussions about this. I'm going to start with Commissioner Elliott Santos.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Again, just if we could keep it brief, and you can all call me one by one, but we need to keep this brief. Thank you.
I recognize the time constraints, but I feel that I have to speak about this because it's based on someone's religious preference. And yes, we
Yeah.
have religious freedoms in this country, but being a Native American person, religion was the entire basis of what happened to my people. And so we're on dangerous ground here because we are the commission, the Human Relations Commission. These
Right.
kind of things can't be promoted. And although there is this technicality over the vote and the abstention and all of that, that doesn't stop what came out and the words that
Yes.
were spoken. And when you
Yes.
do truly believe in religion, which I also was raised going to church, and I also know that Jesus himself said he came to save all people. He didn't
Amen.
create judgments like that. You're talking about things in the Bible where you could take them and twist them any way. And those kind of people whose religions make them feel that they can't keep that religion out of the decisions of this commission, they truly don't belong on this commission. That's not what we're here to do. And it's taken up a whole lot of our times. And as I said, it's dangerous if you can't separate your own personal beliefs and what you have to pay for when you meet your maker and what you're saying that you're going to do to help the community teach peace, not hate, love and acceptance and kindness. And I am appalled at the words that were brought here, and it brings me to a place where I start panicking again, because these are the very things that caused the death, the destruction of my people and their culture and their ways, like we weren't even human. And so I think that this warrants a special meeting of this commission to discuss why we're here and the reason that we are the Human Relations Commission. And I'm sorry to take up the time, but I think it absolutely warrants it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Nash, I just want to thank you for your comments, and I think that they were right on point. And I thank you for trying to manage this meeting and get your points across. They were well taken. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Griffith Jones, hands.
Oh, okay. Okay. Commissioner?
Thank you, Madam
Jones?
Chair.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I hope that folks are, and I totally agree with the other commissioner that said that this does warrant a very special meeting. And I think that that special meeting is needed because I think that we've been centering and protecting the outlook too much of when we talk about hearing all voices. I am not in agreement with that, especially when we say that when we are centering voices that center white supremacy, center hate, center homophobia, transphobia, and center anti-Blackness and misogynoir. The harm that was seen today, it was because of different macro and microaggressions that specifically Black women on this call have experienced, queer folks on this call, I'm sorry, LGBT, I'm sorry, like folks on this call have experienced, and today's harm is because that type of stuff has been made to feel safe on this call. I think that it's important that we recognize that maybe the silence that happened was because of people's discomfort, calling out when hate happens on the phone. And that while I'm really glad that all of us are appalled and expressing being appalled at this transphobic violence that happened, I want people also to hold that like you can't see queerness, and that there are people who are trans that are within our churches, are people who are trans and I'm lifting that up to be like, this is an opportunity for us to talk about the type of anti-Black violence that's on this commission, the type of homophobia, transphobia that exists in this commission within commissioners. And I'm excited that we're excited about rooting that out. But I think that it is important that we have a really important conversation about how other violence has been allowed to appear on this call. And it's time that we address it.
Thank you. Any other comments?
To Vice Chair
Commissioner
Arton,
Evans.
and then Vice Chair, and then Commissioner Evans, and Vice Chair Arton, and then Commissioner Evans.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I do have to hop off for a work meeting, but I do want to say that I do agree with the idea of a special meeting to discuss this issue, because I feel like, we're running over time and it is an issue that we need to discuss. And with that said, as Commissioner Legaspi said, the transgender community is not asking for special treatment. They're asking to be treated with dignity, respect, and with humanity. And every single one of us is deserving of that, whether you disagree with their, a person or not. So I just wanted to uplift that. Yeah, and on that note, sorry, I do have to hop off.
Thank you, Vice Chair Warsan.
Bye, lady.
Okay, Commissioner Evans. Yes.
Evans? Yes.
Okay. I'm very much in agreement that we do some type of self-reflective workshop or meeting, and maybe even have someone from the outside to work us through this. And the idea about using the Bible was used to justify the enslavement of Blacks in the United States. So that's, there's a thing about when I was a kid that when you point your finger at people, you have 3 pointing back at you and 1 pointing up to heaven, okay? And also, those of us who of religious background, especially, evangelicals and Pentecostal, we do need to do more reading and research with all kinds of religious or identified materials as being religious, like the new scrolls that come out of Israel and the Middle East that were thousands of years old. I think we would do well to read and see what Jesus' relationship was with other people.
Thank you, Evans. Thank you.
Chair Nash, we also have a member of the public who wishes to speak. If you want to take a comment, Mike Alston.
Dr. Alston?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to weigh in the fact that I believe the gentleman who spoke against LGBTQ was not in the right place. I'm over 60. My kids are in their 30s, and I can see a clear difference in how they see the world, how they're bringing the world forward, and how I was raised. And the momentum is in the young people's favor. It's true, religion has been used and abused for hundreds of thousands of years. Any of us can pick something from religion and use it for our own purposes, or to, it's a very, very dangerous thing to take religion and say, this is why I'm doing something. It's why Christopher Columbus did very brutal things to Native people when they got here. It's a way to elevate one group above another, but that does not move us forward. It's not helpful, especially in this day and age. We have so many good things going for us in this world. If we could only learn how to get along with each other. And when you know something is going to hurt someone else, you don't go there. You don't do that. You don't do that. You're bigger than that. Let's move the world forward. Let's not burn the mother down. Let's stay on the same page. Let's work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alston.
Commissioner Hodges hand up. Sure.
Oh.
What I would like to take under consideration that we consider a special meeting of some format and bring something back to the commission as soon as possible. But I really want to challenge your time. I really am very time sensitive. And so at this point, do we have any other comments? I'll give you 1 minute and we will adjourn this meeting, and I will take under consideration with Vice Chair Murray Ramirez and my Vice Chair Arton and seek the counsel of the county staff in terms of what direction we should go through in order to have a special time space where we can definitely a time of reflection going forward. Thank you all. I don't believe there are any other hands up. Thank you all for attending this call, and we're in this together. We're in this together, and we are about promoting positive human relations. But we need to definitely, obviously, we need to start with ourselves first. I love you all. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, and we will meet again very soon. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Bob.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.